let's get started. So, the internet, World Wide Web, triple W. When did we even start using it? That's a good question because the dawn of 1983 marks the official birthday of the internet. Made by Tim Berners-Lee, it was created to not only give computers a globally accessible connection network, but as a stepping stone for technology to advance, to be used as a tool to bring communities closer. Yet, lately, it has been shown that the gender gap still remains even though over a decade had passed. Hi, you can just call me Kevin. Today, I will be talking about the digital gender divide that is often seen within the digital world. So the first part of my speech, I'd like to talk about the gaming industry and the issues with gender diversity. An article written by Megan Eckles in the year 2020 highlights the fact that the gaming industry currently is very male-dominated, with most men having a leading role in game development. This has resulted in very few women choosing a gaming-related career, only making up about 22% of the workforce. The reason is commonly believed that their work is being less valued compared to men, which explains the lack of female recognition for women to be promoted within the workplace. And all of this fuels the cycle of gender inequality, pay gaps, and the forever growing skills gap. Inequality in the gaming industry extends further than the members in the workforce, for it also leaves a mark on the games themselves. Many claims that once a game drops a female character, protagonist, antagonist, that they are often heavily sexualized. It is important that leadership roles within these teams have a more balanced gender split than the current 16%. And if women are finding it very uncomfortable to work in such a male-dominated environment, then adding the argument of whether a video game character is sexy enough is only adding fuel to the fire. Personally, I have seen and experienced this sort of problem within this field. Speaking from the youth, I find that many or any competitive games have some sort of problem with gender diversion, of course. So the second part of my speech, I like to talk about the IT industry. And IT industry, both industries face very similar problems, like the workforce gender ratio, pay gaps, sexual harassment. Furthermore, it faces an interest gap towards female IT workers. Women generally are not being told of what the career of technology entails, and this has led to over a quarter of female students declining the IT career, for it is just too male-dominated. And of course, the retention gap shows that once women enter the field of IT, the retention rate is very low compared to men. As an example, I like to bring up is that women in recent times are earning their STEM degrees, but only about 38% of them who majored in computer science are taking part of a role within technology. And because of this lack of gender diversity, there is this lack of female representation, which really limits their chances of getting things like sponsorships, mentorships, which fuels the phenomenon of women generally straying away from the IT industry. And just like many other common industries out there, women are being underpaid. The average salary for women in tech is only about $93,000 per annum, while comparing to a $109,000 per annum for men. In dissatisfied compensation for women, it's only about $67,000 per annum, while comparing to a whopping $84,000 per annum for men. And of course, the recent pandemic has caused issues for workers worldwide, and women in tech have reported facing more burnout rates than men. And even with the added responsibilities at home, women still felt very uncomfortable asking for flexibility in the workplace. And after all that I've said on the stage, I think all of you here have a very firm grasp on what the IT industry provides us. It gives us these very modern technological advancements. But if the problem of gender diversity remains within itself, then who can deny the fact that they are causing us more problems than solutions? That's why one of the biggest problems that I have to mention is the ever-increasing poverty due to gender diversion. So, in the poorest nations in the world that have access to the World Wide Web, in about 48 of them, only about 18% of men are online, compared to a 12.5% of women. This is a gender gap of 22.3 million. And of course, in recent times, this number has been increasing. The gap had widened about 32%. And when you are factoring in things like current internet trends and population growth, then that is a gender gap of 52.5 million. Many have been left behind and risk falling even further behind due to the social and economic consequences of expanding inequality. Huge technological leaps are being made, but the benefits of these leaps are only remaining in the developed nations, while leaving the lesser developed nations that lack funds and resources to advance with the leaps, they leave it with no choice beyond the use of outdated technologies. Truly, it's heartbreaking knowing that nearly 50 nations are being restricted from modern technology. And even I have fallen victim to this. My family and I were never born in any rich neighborhoods. And the fact that I am standing here delivering my speech shows how lucky I am to be born in a decent enough household. But as the world develops, we must reach out to the vulnerable men and women worldwide to ensure that no one gets left behind. It is up to us to be innovative and enable this technological access for everyone worldwide, because we are often introduced to technology at school, but of course, to the unfortunate, it is quite the opposite. Therefore, ensuring equal access to technical learning, digital literacy in school, through training programs is important. No, it is a must. Yes, it is a must. This will create equal opportunities for children to embrace technology and chase careers in the IT industry or any online industry out there. This, of course, will resolve the whole workforce gender ratio, bridge existing gender gaps, and of course, reduce gender inequality. But after all that I've said on the stage, I'd like to personally ask all of you, do you believe in gender equality? Especially in the modern age, where the future just feels like it is next door. Will you help yourselves and others to embrace this bright future, or only claim it for yourselves? This has been my TED Talk. I am Kevin, and I wish you all a fine day.